Hello everyone! 2025 was here and gone before I knew it, and I never got a chance to talk about the inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2025. I thought about waiting and combining the class of 25 and 26 together, but the class of 2025 was such a strong year that I couldn't wait to talk about them. And as tradition goes, I'm going to pick an album by one of these artists and talk about it in my next video. Let's get started going in alphabetical order, and if I don't have a category listed, then that artist got in for the performer category. And to make things easier on myself, I pretty much just copied the descriptions for each artist from the Rock Hall's own website. Alright, first up, Bad Company. Long overdue to get in. Back in 2020, I made a top 10 list of artists who needed to be inducted that haven't yet, and Bad Company was at the top of my list. With members from Mott the Hoople, King Crimson, and Free, and signed to Led Zeppelin's Swan Song imprint, Bad Company were one of rock's first and most successful supergroups, both live and on record. By combining arena-ready blues rock swagger with top 40 hits, they distinguished themselves from their peers. The foursome's straightforward, no-frills approach inspired rockers to embrace melody over bombast, songs over jams, tight, short solos, and unforgettable choruses. Carol Kaye. Though rarely in the spotlight, bassist Carol Kaye shaped the sound of American pop music as the bedrock of the 60s and 70s LA studio scene. Her distinctive touch redefined the bass as both rhythmic anchor and expressive counter-melodic voice. Her work proved invaluable to over 10,000 recordings, including iconic hits, film scores, and TV themes. A pioneering woman in a male-dominated field, she significantly elevated the role of bassist. Chubby Checker. Born Ernest Evans in Spring Gully, South Carolina, Chubby Checker became the king of the 60s dance crazes with his iconic The Twist, reaching the #1 spot twice and sparking a worldwide unprecedented success and further hits like The Fly and Limbo Rock, hitting the charts 32 times before 1966. He broadened rock and roll's audience beyond teenagers and remained active into the new millennium. Cyndi Lauper. With a 4-octave voice, quirky glam style, and defiant individuality, Cyndi Lauper shaped the 80s and beyond. Her debut, She's So Unusual, yielded 4 top 5 hits, while her vividly popular videos mixed humor and vulnerability. Constantly evolving, she enjoyed a spectacular second act with a Tony-winning Broadway score for Kinky Boots. Joe Cocker. Also long overdue. Sheffield, England's own Joe Cocker set a new standard for rock interpretation, redefining classics like The Letter and With a Little Help from My Friends with his own indelible stamp. Gifted with a powerful, gritty voice and a fearless, impassioned performing style, his reputation as a riveting performer lasted decades. As a recording artist, he repeatedly reinvented himself, never leaving the airwaves. He was awarded an OBE in 2007. Lenny Waronker, getting in for the Ahmet Ertegun Award. Producer, label, president, A&R head, and tastemaker Lenny Waronker, prioritizing creativity and development over quick financial returns and commercial hits, he redefined the role of the record label, shaping DreamWorks and Warner Brothers into musician-friendly collaborative havens. Significantly responsible for the careers of Randy Newman, Ricky Lee Jones, R.E.M., and Prince, he elevated pop music in the culture. Nicky Hopkins. Getting in for musical excellence, classically trained session pianist Nicky Hopkins brought his musical ingenuity, impeccable taste, and feel to over 250 albums, including classics from the Rolling Stones, The Who, The Kinks, The Beatles, Joe Cocker. Equipped both technically and personally to work in any idiom, blues, rock, psychedelia, soul, he added texture and emotional depth to hundreds of songs, broadening the palette of rock and roll and influencing generations of keyboardists. Outkast. In bringing their vision of the dirty South to hip-hop, Outkast significantly broadened the genre's palette. Relentlessly innovative, ATL's own Andre 3000 and Big Boi concocted a unique blend of funk, soul, jazz, rock, and Afrofuturism, weaving in compelling storytelling delivered with astonishing vocal skill. Embraced critically and wildly successful commercially, they are one of the few hip-hop acts to win the Album of the Year Grammy. Their cultural influence is incalculable. Salt-N-Pepa getting in for musical influence. As the first major all-female rap group to go both gold and platinum, the first to win a Grammy, Salt-N-Pepa changed the male-dominated game. With a unique flamboyant style and outspoken, feminine-centric messages all woven into an edgy yet accessible hip-hop R&B blend, they redefined women's roles in rap. Unafraid of touchy issues like AIDS, safe sex, and female sexual desire, they set a template for countless future rappers. Soundgarden. With their pioneering fusion of punk, metal, and experimental edge, Soundgarden kicked off the Seattle-based grunge movement, breaking ground for Nirvana and Pearl Jam, among others. The first of the genre's bands on a major scale, they achieved global success with the aggressive Bad Motorfinger and multi-platinum Emotionally Deep Super Unknown. their reputation as an untouchable live act with compelling, radio-friendly albums broadened the possibilities of modern rock. Thom Bell, getting in for musical excellence, Jamaican-born, Philadelphia-raised producer, arranger, and songwriter, Thom Bell was a key architect of the Philly sound. Alongside songwriters Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, he broadened the possibilities of R&B. Using his classical training, he crafted lush orchestral arrangements and inventive vocals and rhythms for his songs, resulting in hits for seminal groups like the Spinners, the Delphonics, and the Stylistics. His legacy can be heard in disco, modern R&B, and hip-hop. Warren Zevon, finally getting in for musical influence. Warren Zevon was a songwriter's songwriter, revered for the gallows humor, acid wit, and candid tenderness of his lyrics. A classically trained pianist and skilled guitarist, he wrote jingles, pop ditties. His songs, covered by a wide array of esteemed artists, encompassed rock and roll, country, folk, and blues. Critically acclaimed, he counted among his fans Dylan and Springsteen, and he expanded the boundaries of American popular song. And last but not least, the White Stripes. The White Stripes reinvigorated rock and roll by returning to its primal blues roots, proving that a duo with defiant energy, catchy riffs, and melodic savvy and unique style could captivate as much, if not more, than a large complex ensemble. Both live and on record, mastermind multi-instrumentalist and vocalist Jack White and minimalist drummer Meg White crafted a sound greater than the sum of its parts, inspiring artists from multiple generations. A strong lineup of musicians getting in this year, and I'm really excited to pick an album by one of these artists and talk about it in my next video. Who will I pick? Find out next time. Let's be honest though, we all know who I'm picking. So stay tuned for what Bad Company album I'm going to pick for my next video. But until then, let's give one more round of applause for the artist who got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2025. Congratulations, class of 2025, and I'll see you guys in another video. See you then.